Good evening. I would like to call this regular meeting of the Muscle Shoals Board of Education to order. Would everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mrs. Woolfolk, will you please call the roll? Here.
Here.
Present.
Dr. Holden, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Mrs. Allman. I recommend approval of the agenda as presented.
Board, our first order of business is to approve the agenda as presented. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Witt. We have a motion to approve the agenda. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
If we don't approve the agenda, we can't do anything else tonight, so just saying.
Yeah. Hearing none, call to vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, Dr. Holden, the agenda has been approved.
Thank you, Madam President. I do have some correspondence, item D. I have some correspondence to communicate with you. One is the annual letter from the Alabama Association of School Boards that just recognizes the Muscle Shoals School Board as a board in good standing with the association. That means we've paid our dues and, we're good as far as the required training that we have to do, each board member and that type of thing. And I just commend you for that. And this certificate will be on file here at the central office. And then I have a nice note from Dr. Celia Rudolph. It says, "Dear board members and Dr. Holden, thank you so much for the beautiful bracelet. I cherish it, and I will now most every single day. More than that, I cherish our bonds and our friendships we have made over the years. Your kind words expressed at our May meeting will stay with me for a very long time. Thank you again." And I'll end with this quote: "Truly great friends are hard to find, difficult to leave, and impossible to forget. Forever, you are my board mates, my teammates, and my friends. Sincerely, Dr. Celia Rudolph." I appreciate that very nice note and wanted you guys to hear it and enter it into the record of our meeting. All right, next item is the minutes. And so, Mrs. Allman, I recommend approval of the minutes from the June 13th regular board meeting and the July 9th special meeting.
Board, the superintendent has recommended the approval of the board meeting minutes as presented. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Madam President, I make a motion to approve the board meeting minutes.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. We have a motion, and do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Mr. Woods. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call to vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, Dr. Holden, the motion carries.
All right, thank you. We'll move on into our business action items. First, the consent agenda. For the consent agenda, the board has been furnished with background material on each item or has discussed the item at a previous meeting. Consent agenda items will be acted upon with one vote without discussion. If a board member wishes to discuss any item, it will be pulled from the consent agenda and voted on separately. For tonight's consent agenda, you have your normal financials reports from Ms. Langley's office for the month of June. We also have the recommendation for accepting a bid on solid waste disposal services, as well as the proposed 24-25 activity and athletic supplement schedule positions and the amount we pay for those positions. Does any board member wish to pull any of those items and vote on them separately? Hearing none, Madam President, I recommend the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you, Dr. Holden. Board, the superintendent has recommended approval of the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
Make a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Wood. We have a motion to approve the consent agenda. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. We have a motion and a second. Call to vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All. Any opposed? Hearing none, Dr. Holden, motion carries.
All right, thank you. Item B is the personnel report, and I recommend the personnel report as presented.
Thank you, Dr. Holden. Board, the superintendent has recommended approval of the personnel report. Do I have a motion to approve the personnel report as presented?
Madam President, I make a motion to approve the personnel report as presented.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. We have a motion to approve the personnel report. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Woods. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, Dr. Holden, the personnel report has been approved.
All right, thank you. For the benefit of the audience, the personnel report tonight consists of the following. Under transfer or reassignment, Thad Porter from system-wide custodian with split assignment between Highland Park and Webster to custodian system-wide assigned to Webster, no change in assignment days. Also under employment, Reagan Holloman, speech-language pathologist system-wide. Maria Juarez, teacher of English learners system-wide to be assigned. Roxana Ricks, aide to serve English learners system-wide to be assigned. Norris Denton, custodian with split assignment between Highland Park and Webster. And then Gary Lamb, physical education teacher at Muscle Shoals High School, also head baseball coach. Under other part-time special appointment supplemental, we have 2 individuals hired tonight for additional staffing for extended services in our special ed department. We have 5 teachers at the high school and middle school who are being offered Teams contracts by tonight's action. Also, we have 3 individuals for Saturday school staffing for the 24-25 school year. That's Jordan Crow, Colton Knox, and Drew Smith. We have all of our AP teachers from the high school who conduct additional study sessions outside of class time. They're paid a little stipend for doing that in our AP classes, and so those teachers are included there. Also, Jacqueline Goodwin will be doing color guard, show design, and writing for our band program. Molly Kate Holloway and Alex Shaw, those are 2 of our new nurse employees. We'll be doing some orientation in the summer with Miss Word. We have Jacob Ayers, Scotty Peoples, Zach Mize, and Stacy Ade. Those are all teachers at the high school or career academy who will be teaching an extra block of their courses due to course enrollment numbers being so high. Also, Rich Kennedy being paid a stipend for being an audio technician for Matilda Jr. Tim Underwood for radio play-by-play commentary for the 24 football season, as well as his work helping gain sponsorships for that program. Denise Woods, contract part-time temporary director at the Early Learning Center for another year. And then we have the entire supplement and athletic and activity supplement schedule that I will not read off, but if anybody would like to read it, you're welcome to after the meeting. And then just not for board action, but for information only, we do have some new staff under Kelly Services. I'll read those names here. This is all of some of these folks are coming back, correct, Ms. Woolfolk? These are not all new. But this is our 24-25 Kelly Services staffing. Most of these are serving in aide positions of some type. Kelsey Flanagan, Marie Janie Davis, Sarah Long, that's a new hire. Lyric Malone, Hazel Schultz, Logan Nunley, that's a new hire. Natalie Springer, Kim Cromwell, Kelly Benson, Jamie Boston, Katie Oakley, and Miranda Hoagland, that's a new hire. All right, y'all were reading along with me. Did I misspeak on anything, or are we good? Good. All right, good deal. All right. Item 3.
All right. At this time, I will entertain any nominations for AASB All-State School Board Members Award Program.
Madam President, I would like to nominate Dr. Celia Rudolph for the All-State School Board Member Award.
Dr. Rudolph has been nominated. Are there any other nominations?
Madam President, I second Dr. Rudolph's nomination and call for a vote.
Hearing no other nominations, we will now vote on Dr. Celia Rudolph's nomination. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Are there any opposed? Dr. Rudolph has been nominated by unanimous vote.
Thank you. Brief superintendent's report tonight, and that's all I will have. It is hard to believe that we're at the end of summer, as I see sighs across the room, but there's also excitement in the room, right? When you think about all this money we've applied for and hopefully we'll receive through the grants, but a lot of excitement. I told the SROs this morning, education is a neat profession to be in because you get the chance to start again. You can hit the reset button. If you had maybe a tough year last year, it doesn't have to be that way this year. So we're definitely looking forward to the new school year. Institute is July 31st. That'll start at 8 o'clock at the Charles Stratford Auditorium there at the high school. Board members, you are invited to join us if you have time and availability. Our guest speaker this year is Gary Brooks. And if you're not familiar with Gary Brooks, he is kind of an internet social media sensation. I think he's retired now, but he's a school administrator that does motivational speaking now And so I think our folks are going to be excited about that. Also, a part of the program, I have invited some retirees to join me to help me in part of the program. And we have 50 retirees that have committed to being here that day. So we are super excited about that. Some of those don't normally come to the retiree luncheon or whatever we have. So we're going to be excited to see some of them. So if you have a chance, come to Institute. We'd love to have you. I think it's going to be a good program. At Institute, we will recognize some more of our employees with service recognition pins. It won't be quite the list that we had last year, because last year we recognized everybody who had hit a milestone, but this year it's just those that have hit a milestone since last year. So Ms. Nichols has been working on that, so we're excited to honor those folks. I do want to give a shout out to our maintenance workers and our technology department. They do a lot of work behind the scenes that nobody ever sees, or few people see, to get our schools ready to reopen. And our campuses, it's amazing when you see what they look like in the summer. And I know the high school still looks like that because of all the work that's been going on there. It's stuff everywhere. It's dirty. I think Ms. Horton was in shock when we went over there today to look at the auditorium to talk about Institute. She couldn't believe, how messy it was at the high school. She's like, what is going on here? So I told her, I said, this is what it looks like in the summer, but I promise you a week from now, you won't even be able to tell that all this stuff was here. But they work hard, and I appreciate the work that they do. They always do a great job because they juggle the usual maintenance, but especially with Terry, there's always some capital project going on that he's having to manage. And he and Sherry have been double teaming me this week, saying that no more capital projects or none next summer. We'll take a whole summer with no major capital project, but that's wishful thinking, I think. So the high school and middle school boiler chiller projects are coming to a close. The air is on at the high school. It is working. So, kudos to those guys for getting it done. They did create some issues with the floor by not having air throughout the summer. And so we are having to address that, but hopefully we've got enough contingency money maybe in their contract that it may cover the cost of doing those floor repairs. They've had to redo the entire band room floor. And so that they're doing that right now. And there's some other places throughout the building. We're going to be able to open school. It's not like a safety hazard or anything, but I know it's going to bug that man right there if his floor doesn't look pristine. So we're going to get that addressed as soon as we can. We have the opportunity. Don't forget, whole board training is August the 9th. There is an email that I think we received from AESB about the survey, just kind of nudging us to do that. It'll be a part of our training on August the 9th, so be sure that you get that done. There is an athletic booster club meeting tonight, correct, at 7 o'clock. And I know we've just hired a new baseball coach. Coach Lamb has a storied career, very experienced, very highly qualified. I think there's going to be a lot of excitement, and I think he's going to be there tonight to be introduced. So if you want to leave here and go to the high school and meet Coach Lamb and be a part of his introduction, that'll be tonight at 7 o'clock. And then I'll just end by saying, I think Dr. Celia Rudolph will have a very competitive application. I know she's working hard on it, right, Ms. Wolfo? If she hasn't called you about the application, she will. But I think she's going to be very competitive, and I hope she gets the recognition, because it won't be just a recognition of her. It'll be a recognition of our school system, and I think that is to be commended. I wish her the best. Okay, that's all I have, Madam President.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Holden. This concludes our agenda for the meeting. If there is no other discussion, this meeting is adjourned.